Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of 6-Minute Increments. I have here with me today Christian Valentino. First of all, I'm Beth Cordello. I'm head of the Labor and Employment Practice Group at Pullano and Farrow. Christian, why don't you tell us what you do?
Yeah, I'm one of the attorneys at Pullano and Farrow in the litigation department, and specifically I handle what I refer to as personal litigation because I represent people, not usually companies or insurance companies. So that's sort of my role at the firm.
And I know you take a lot of calls for, among other things, personal injury cases. So when you get those calls, I'm curious, how do you figure out what's a worthwhile case?
Yeah, that's always interesting because all the calls that come in, the person's usually coming at it from a different angle. So it's really letting them first get their story out as much as possible and then start identifying the issues. And when I realize it's a plaintiff's personal injury case, you have to start looking at a few things. It's liability, and that's a big word for did somebody do something wrong, and did that wrong or did that action or omission cause damage, and then how much is that damage worth in our industry, like in the legal world.
So I would imagine if I were calling a personal injury lawyer because of something that happened to me or my family member, I would be probably very emotional, possibly very angry, probably not at my best. Do you find that, and how do you navigate that?
Yeah, it happens a lot, and it's understandable. And that's the one thing you have to realize when you're taking those calls is it is emotional, it is sensitive. And, a lot of times when you're injured, you're worried about how do I provide for my family? I'm also in pain, things like that. So you take them through sort of explaining to them how our system works, right? And so first you get to what happened? What do you think caused this injury, right? And start talking to them about that. And that's the liability aspect or negligence. That's a term that people, hear. And then what is that injury, right? You got to remember a lot of these people have seen all of these billboards and advertisements of lawyers. And it's like, so-and-so got me $30 million. That's the rare case. I mean, the very
How do
rare
you
case.
manage those expectations? Because, all you see in the news are the big jury awards, the big wins. So I imagine lots of times people's expectations are very different than what the reality is of what they could recover.
Yep. And that's the key is if you're honest with them up front and explain to them the different elements of what you're looking for as an attorney, knowing what the courts and a jury would be looking for if it went to trial. So by educating them about the process and demonstrating to them that you understand what they're going through because you've dealt with these types of cases before and how you can help navigate them through, that builds that trust because a person should be able to trust their lawyer. A person should be able to expect a phone call to explain what's going on with the case, and our firm really tries to do that. But yeah, at the front end, can't tell them exactly what their case is worth on the front end, but I can get an idea after having a thorough conversation with them as to what is their status in life. Are they working? Do they earn an income that they're not going to be able to earn anymore as a result of the accident? What type of injury is it? Is it something that required surgery or not?
Right.
Is it something that requires a permanency like scarring or permanent metal hardware in the body? Those types of facts certainly dictate how much that case is worth. And what I always explain to them, really, it's in our system, unfortunately, it's trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, right? No amount of money is going to make you better.
Right.
And almost everybody I've spoken to said, I would rather this not have happened to me than to receive, even large sums of money. Right. That's not what they're really looking to do, but that's the situation they're in. So by taking them through the system, understanding what their injuries are, and be able to articulate to them, here is what adds value to a case. And then the biggest thing that we have to talk about, which is completely out of their control and extremely frustrating, and I get it, is how much insurance does the wrongdoer, the tortfeasor, the wrongdoer have? Because you can have two people that get the exact same injuries, and if one person's wrongdoer that caused the injury has the New York State minimum of driver's insurance or auto insurance of $25,000, versus, you get hit by a Mack truck that's owned by a large company in town that has a significant amount of insurance, millions of dollars of insurance. You can have two people with the same injury get drastically different settlements. And that's something that you have to talk to them about on the front end to manage those expectations.
So if you can answer this question,
Sure.
I'm not sure if you're at liberty to, what's the most memorable personal injury case you've handled?
Yeah, that's a good question. To me, they're all memorable in a way, and I know it
Yeah.
sounds sort of corny, but I really understand the fact that for every single one of my clients, this is their only case, and it means that much to them. So it's hard to identify, that one case that I remember the most, because frankly, I do try to remember all of them. So it's just it's dealing with people, it's dealing with the frustrations of the system, which I get, and it's really educating them and counseling them through that process. So.
Oh, thanks, Christian.
Yeah, no, not a problem.